Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Monday. I have to be completely honest with you and let you know that this is like the second and a half times that I've recorded this podcast, because the first time I didn't have the little thing plugged into the computer. So I did the entire podcast and nothing recorded. So yeah, it's just been one of those days, right? And then I turned this on again and then it wasn't working at all. So the microphone wasn't hooked up. So happy Monday, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about I'm going to do kind of like a Q&A about organization. So I've recently, I receive questions all the time. I receive them through my blog. I receive them on YouTube. I receive them on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And I want to do something different this year. I love answering questions and helping people. So I want to do some more Q&As like this and just kind of compile some questions that are, that relate to each other and then answer them here on the podcast. So today it's just going to be a quick, I always say quick, but then sometimes I just get long-winded, but 5 questions about organization that I thought I would answer here on the podcast that were sent in. And so hopefully they can help some other people get organized or just get some new ideas. So the first one that came in asked, so since I'm recording this right now in January, so we just got done with the holidays. So the first one that came in was, how do you store all of the stuff between seasons? And I love this question. So here's my thing. I do not like to store anything that I don't love and we're not going to use or doesn't fit or, all the things. So and another thing to note is that we don't live in a big home and we don't have a ton of storage in this house. So, which I think has been great because it really has made me over the last, oh my gosh, how many years have we lived here? 18, 19 years. It's really kind of honed in on my organization and like just keeping what we love and use. And so through that, I've just learned and kind of just done things for the smaller spaces that we have. So to answer this question, the number one thing is I will not store anything that I'm not loving or using. And I don't like to store things away for, different holidays or seasons, or it's not like I have a closet full of different decorations that I'm going to pull out. Now, that being said, I do decorate. I used to decorate for every season when the kids were little. So Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, we used to do these fun things, but I didn't have totes and totes for those kind of smaller holidays. But obviously for like Christmas, I do have storage for Christmas. And for like fall, I like to change up the decorations a little bit around our house. But a lot of times it's just moving things around that you already have that just make it look, more cozy for fall or warmer for fall or so what I do between seasons is, let's just do Christmas because we just got past Christmas. So obviously I do have, totes of Christmas decorations and, like ornaments and those kinds of things that are packed away. But every Christmas season, when I get Christmas things out to decorate, I have a huge box or a couple of empty totes next to me that as soon as I'm pulling something out, if I don't love it, it didn't come out last year or whatever, it's going in those totes to get rid of. So as I'm decorating for Christmas, I'm also purging Christmas items, right? I'm getting rid of those things that I don't love or I'm not going to use. And I do that same thing when I'm putting Christmas decorations away. So if I have I've decorated for the holidays and now it's time to put it all away. If I really didn't love something or I just know I'm not going to get it out the following year, again, during that time, I have an empty box, an empty tote, because I know I'm going to fill it or put things in there that I don't love and use. So, or I just know I'm not going to bring it out next year or whatever it is. So I encourage you to do that when you are decorating between seasons. If you're somebody that decorates for all the seasons, all the holidays, do that with each season and each holiday. Now, What I also do is when I'm decorating like for Christmas is, let's say I bring a tote out that has Christmas items inside. And I take those out and I decorate with them. The things that are normally in our house, like all year round, I will then put those items, let's just say I'm doing a mantle. So the things that I have on a mantle, normally all year round, kind of that neutral decor or whatever, that's all year round, I will put those in those Christmas totes. Because I know I'm going to get that Christmas tote back out when I am, putting Christmas things away. And then all of those things are in there. And you can then label those things if you want to. So like that Christmas box, just use some masking tape or painter's tape. That Christmas box that's full of ornaments, you're going to put the mantle in the family room stuff in that box. And then just put that on a piece of painter's tape, masking tape, and put it on the box so all the things in that tote, when Christmas stuff goes away, it goes all right back on that mantle in the family room. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I do it between seasons. Do not store things that you don't love, you're not using. Don't store clothes that don't fit, that aren't flattering, that you don't love. There's no reason for you to store those things all throughout your house, no matter what the season. Don't let those things take up prime real estate in your home. If you don't love them, that you don't use them, if it's clothes that don't fit or aren't flattering on you, who needs that reminder, right? Get rid of them, donate them, let somebody else use them. Okay, second question. Do you buy more / different things every season? And then it said, sort of like out with the old, in with the new. No and yes. So my whole mantra, my whole rule is if something comes in, something has to go out. And that's with everything. And sometimes depending on what it is, I like to push myself. And if one thing comes out, two things have to go out. Or if one thing comes in, two things have to go out. So this is with clothes, shoes, home decor, let's just say new dishes. I'm just trying to kind of go through all the rooms. Toys for kids, all those kinds of things. If something comes in, then something has to go out. So the out with the old, in with the new, that is yes, that happens all year round for me. Anytime something comes in, it's usually to replace something, or if the kids have grown out of clothes or whatever, they need new shoes or whatever, then a pair of shoes has to go out, those kinds of things. So if you can stick to that, you guys, so it's great to keep up on organization. It keeps your home functioning well. It keeps your, closets and your storage and your drawers and everything organized, but it also saves you so much money. So when you're in a store and, like many of us are in a store just meandering around and looking at all the things we don't really need, but we really want. But when you think about it in the store, like, okay, I'm going to buy this new sweater or whatever. I'm going to buy this new plant or pot or whatever it is. Something's got to go out. So it makes you actually stop in the store and think, okay, do I really have something that, I'm going to take out, or two things? Can I push myself to, remove two things from the house if I'm going to bring this one thing in? And it's saved me tons of money over the years. And this is thrifting too, or you're at a yard sale. If I'm buying something that, that's going to come in the house and I want it to decorate the house or whatever, again, we don't have a big home. And so this is just kind of over the years, I've just always been in this state of, okay, I don't have a place to put this. This goes for furniture, you guys. I'm always picking up furniture that I see potential in. Number one, I obviously that's part of my work. So I'm teaching, those things. So I need it for that. But if I'm not selling it and I think that it's going to go in our home, or I really love I just really love the piece, then another piece has to be sold. I can't just have, 15 dressers in a bedroom, right? So anything that is going to come into our home or I'm going to buy in the store that I know I'm not going to flip, like the furniture and stuff, something else has to go out. So right there, the decision is made in the store. I'm either bringing it home. I know such and such is going to go out. And it'll save you so much money. So if you can get in that habit, your bank account's going to love you and your home is going to love you and your organization. So to go with that question, it was, do you buy more / different things every season? No, not necessarily. I'm not a person that's going to go out every year and run to Target when they get their Christmas stuff out to buy new things. I love to go and get inspired and kind of see the new things that are coming out for a new season or whatever. I will do that all day long. Like, I can browse like it's my full-time job because I get so many ideas from doing that. So if it's online, if it's in a store, if I'm looking through a magazine, like, yes, count me in all day long. But I'm not going to buy things just to go in and buy the new things that are coming out. Now, if you follow me, you do know that I love to go thrifting or yard sailing or whatever. And I am picking up items that I find that obviously that are great and, all the things. I do have an online shop as well on Instagram for people to buy the finds that I'm picking up. So that's kind of a different thing too. But so I'm always picking things up throughout the year because the way that I shop, it's really inexpensive. If I find a great deal on something amazing, I will pick it up. If it's, June and I find, a vintage Santa mug, which is something that I collect and love, I will definitely pick that up. So for me, I do not buy just like, you will never, I always say never, but I don't ever see me being a person that's like, oh, it's a new Christmas season and there's a new trend going on or whatever it is. So I'm heading to Target or TJ Maxx or wherever, and I'm going to buy all new Christmas decor for our home at full price. Like that's just not me. And so I definitely do not buy new and different things every season. And that's what the question was asked. But the way I do shop, I'm frugal. And if I do find things when I'm out and about, just kind of hunting for fun things, I will pick up things for different seasons. But again, with the same motto that if that comes in, something else is going out. Okay, I hope that helped. A third question that came in, and this one comes in different ways, but it's basically how to part with organized sentimental items. And I won't dive. I could do an entire podcast about that. And if that's something you're interested in, let me know. But in the show notes, I actually wrote a blog post about this because I think people need to look at it differently. And I hope the blog post, and I actually made a guide on how to go through sentimental items and help you deal with them, purge them, get rid of them, in an easier way. And so that guide is inside that blog post. So we will put the links to those inside the show notes. But one thing I just want to tell you, the sentiment is not in the item. The sentiment's usually in your heart. It's a memory. It's in your mind. It reminds you of something. So to keep, all these things, to remember, somebody by, or to remember, a trip, or to remember, like, the sentiment is not in those items. It's in your heart, your memory, you know what I mean? So we need to remember that. And another thing I'm just going to say here about this is, if it's so sentimental and you want to hang on to all these things, display them, use them, depending on what it is, obviously. And just recently I shared on my Instagram page, you can follow me at My Creative Days, but some people, we were talking about this, and some people had sent in some different ways that they got so sick of just hanging on to all the sentimental items just to hang on to them, that they actually displayed them or actually found ways to use them in their homes. So one of them that was sent over was an old, like, Monopoly game or something her husband had as a kid, and he never wanted to get rid of it, but they weren't playing it and they weren't using it. So she actually put the game, she displayed it in a shadow box and hung it on the wall, which, I mean, amazing. Another one was a hat. I can't remember if it was like a grandparent or something, a hat they always wore. So there was like on her wall, she had like a picture or a framed picture. And then above that on a hook, she hung the hat that was always worn, that sentimental item. So it was part of kind of like a gallery wall. She added that to the gallery wall. So just think about those items in that way. If it's so sentimental and it's things that you want to keep, try and display them, use them. That's what, if it's tied to a person, sentimental items can be tied to a person, place, thing, memory, obviously. But if it's tied to a person, that person would want you to use it, display it, They don't want you to be bogged down by it. They would never want that for you, right? So think of it that way. They don't want you to keep a house full of furniture that you can't use. But if you could sell it and make some money and take a vacation with that money, like they would be thrilled with that if that's what you needed. I think if we just kind of think about it in different ways, and that's why I wrote that whole blog post about it. And then we made that guide just to kind of help you go through those things. So like I said, check the show notes for that link. And I could dive into this for a long time, but I won't get into that in this podcast. Okay, another big one is, how do I get my family on board? I want to be organized, but I have a husband and I've got kids that they just don't see it. So my biggest thing with this is communication. Like, we have got to communicate more, people. We have just got to make communication just part of we have to do it. I have family members that struggle so hard with it. And I'm a person that's like, let's talk it out until we're blue in the face and figure this out and fix things. And which I'm not saying that's the better way by any means, but I just think if there was more open communication across the board in our lives, I just think we would be happier and things would just be a lot easier. So I live with the same people. I've always been an organized person and wanting things a certain way, but I have 3 other people that live in our house, and they know, like the kids will be like, oh no, mom's starting to purge and organize things again. Like, just get out of her way. Or, oh no, I know I'm going to have to try on every piece of clothing in my closet because mom, it's that time of year. Like they know that, and they know we've got to do it. We got to get it done. But yet it's like the day to day. And I know that's a question that a lot of people have. So number 1 is communication. Sit down with your family and have a meeting. Sit down and let them know what your goals are. Let them know why you're doing this, why you want the home organized. If you are all scrambling to get out the door on time every morning, and then your kids are mad on the way to school because they're going to be late, and, bring up those things in this meeting. The reason I want to get organized is so that we can get out and start our days on a happy foot, being happy and not everybody mad and worried about being late. And if we get organized and stay organized and keep it that way, it's just going to be easier and everybody's going to be happier. So do those kinds of things in the meeting. Talk about those kinds of things. The goals that you want with the organization. Let them know what the expectations are. And then these last 2, you guys, I've done this for years and it works. It may sound a little crazy. And if you're just trying to start these things with your family may be like, are you kidding me? So so obviously throughout the years, you're going to have different needs and your house is going to need to function. As your kids get older, or jobs may change, and some of you may be working from home now. And, just living in your home is going to change over the years. And so organization is going to look different over the years. And so when those things have happened, maybe you've got to change a whole new, you've got drawers in your kitchen or drawers in your bedrooms or the linen closet, everything's has to be switched around or just to function better. And so I will walk the entire family around, not necessarily like they all have to do it and we're all holding hands, kumbaya down the hallway, but I will have them each come with me and I will say, okay, because of this, we're now going to change this up. And this is the way that I have, whatever, these drawers, this closet, set up because of A, B, and C, and why. Again, there's the goals, there's the expectations, and I'm physically walking them to the place to see the way it looks now, and that I expect it to be, to stay like this because it's going to be easier. We're going to be happier, whatever it is, it's going to function better. And then the other thing I do is, and I've done this since the kids were little, is, so let's say I have organized and I've kind of put together, I went through, I'm just going to say the kitchen towel drawer, and I've gone through and I kind of got rid of the rags or the ones that are just horrible or whatever. And then I have them all, folded and looking nice and everything. And then the next day, Matt or the kids, they're doing laundry and they fold the towels and they don't put them either in that drawer. They set them in the wrong drawer or whatever. The kitchen towel drawer is probably not a great example, but I will have, so let's say Landon did that and then he's out playing basketball and shooting. I will have him stop what he's doing and have him come in and actually fix it. So I will say you need to come in and fix, whatever it is. Like this, when the kids were little, I would do this too. Like before we get out 14 tubs of toys, we're gonna, you're playing with the cars now. So that's great. But now you want to get the blocks and the crayons out or whatever. Okay. But we have to put the cars away first before we get the other things out. And so it just makes them, and so to be completely honest, once you do that 1 or 2 times, they are going to think twice about not doing it right, if that makes sense. He knew where they went, or he knows where they go. The kids know, even at a young age, they know, right? Your husband knows. But if you stop them and be like, more with the kids, obviously, you got to come in and you got to put these kitchen towels away. That's not where they go. I showed you where they go, or, how they go, or whatever. So come on in and do that, and they will kick and scream and be mad the entire way in. But I guarantee the next time they think they're just going to get away with throwing it wherever or putting it wherever, they'll think twice about it, because as they go on and do what they wanted to do or needed to get done, they're not going to want to come back in and do that. So it's worked. It's worked for us. And so I would definitely say to try it. And with that, start your kids young, learning where things go and in their proper place. So we always had a toy room in our house, and I had everything marked where it went. And when they're little, I had things labeled with pictures. If they couldn't read, trucks, crayons, I'm just throwing things out here, blocks, whatever, I would have pictures. And so it's just a good way for them to learn, categories, where things go, how to pick things up. And those, so if you can start them young, and be consistent. Like, I could do a whole podcast about being consistent, like in so many things, but if you're consistent and start young, it makes a world of difference. So yes, let me see. Okay. So that's that question. And then the last question is basically, it's about not wanting to spend a lot of money on organizational products, right? Is there a way to not have to go in debt buying organizational products? So thinking like bins and drawer organizers and all those kinds of things. You guys, if you bring your honesty when you are doing the purge part of an organization session, so when you're going through everything, if you bring your honesty and really only keep the things that you're loving, that fit, that you're going to use, that, that works, in the end, you may find, and you will find if you do it well, that you will not need a lot of products and things to organize. I'm not somebody that's going to go into the Container Store and buy all new things to organize a closet, or because I find that throughout the years, I haven't needed those things. With that being said, thrift stores are your best friend. There are so many organizational things that you can find at thrift stores, and I actually should do like a video about that. I think on my YouTube channel, I do have a couple of those. I should do another one, but the thrift stores are packed full with things that you can organize with, and inexpensive. Think of, look around your house, because there are things that you can use to organize. And one example that I'm just going to talk about here is Gabrielle. When she was little, she loved to play in her toy kitchen. And we had those, Melissa and Doug, the wood kitchen sets or whatever. They always came in a box, like a wood box that had dividers in them. For the different, I'm thinking of like the ice cream scoop set right now, where they had like smaller sections and then a longer section for like the ice cream scoop itself. But when she was done with that, I kept those wood boxes, those Melissa and Doug things, and they fit perfectly in the hutch in our living room. And it holds like our pens and pencils and, like paper clips and things inside there. Use what you already have. It does not have to be fancy. And you don't, after you do the purge session, you will find you don't need a ton of things. And I went in, we do not have a Container Store near us. And so we were out of town, and we actually, there was a Container Store, and I said, oh my gosh, I just want to go in and see what this is like. I thought it was really expensive for the things that I was looking at. And so I would tell you, if you're looking for certain things, whenever I need like a certain, like I've got a drawer, maybe I want to buy a drawer organizer, I always check Home Goods and TJ Maxx first. Their prices, you guys, I think they're even better than Target, sometimes Walmart. I would do Walmart, Home Goods, and TJ Maxx. Those are the three I would try first. For lower priced items. And I know with Home Goods and TJ Maxx, you never know what you're going to get when you go in there. But usually around, January, they have a ton of organization things, obviously, because that's what everybody's looking for. So I would definitely check there. But look around your house. And as you're purging things in the organization, part of the process, so if you're taking things out of things, or can you use whatever that came in to organize something else, if that makes sense? So like I said, the toys came in this box. I didn't need the box for the toys, but yet I knew it would fit in that drawer and it could organize those other things. So if you just keep an open mind, cardboard boxes, you guys, you can cut them down to any size. So if you just kind of want a little organization in a drawer that nobody really sees, like your junk drawer, cut down little boxes inside your junk drawer and use those for, your different tools or pens or whatever you keep in your junk drawer. Junk drawer is a whole different subject, so. But I'm just trying to give you a visual of the kinds of places where you could just use, small cardboard boxes and cut them down to fit, just to give you that kind of separation in different areas in your home. So I could go on and on about this stuff. It just makes me giddy. But those were the 5 questions that came in that I kind of wrote down. And I'm hoping, like I said, to do that throughout this year and just kind of keep a stash of the questions that come in so I can just kind of do these Q&As. If you have any questions about anything that I talk about here, things that you would like to hear me talk about or like to ask about any of the content I share on my website, on my social media, please let us know. You can always email us at lindsay@mycreativedays.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram at mycreativedays, message me. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, all the things. But I'm always looking for ways to help you and different content ideas. So definitely reach out to me. And I would love to answer your question on the next podcast. So have a great week, guys. Get organized. Start the process. I know it may seem daunting. We have tons of resources on my website that will help you get organized. So please check that out. I have a whole organization guide. I have a purging checklist for every month of the year, different things that you should be purging and going through. So you're kind of stay up on it all throughout the year. I just have tons of information on there. So make sure you check it out. The website's at mycreativedays.com. Up in the navigation bar, up at the top, you will find our resources. So check that out for sure. And I will check in with you guys next week. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.